So in the previous video on embedded systems, we had seen how our embedded system, that is the first embedded product, the blind man stick, worked. Okay, so that was the introductory video, I would say, on how things should work. Okay, and now we'll see how actually we made that thing. So these are the things that you will require for building the product. Okay, and Arduino Pro Mini. I have used the Arduino Pro Mini here, but you can use even Arduino Uno as well. Okay, Uno is readily available everywhere. You might have a bit difficulty if you cannot find Pro Mini because it is available only in cities as such. Second thing that you will require is ultrasonic sensor. Ultrasonic sensor. So this sensor is known as HC SR04. So this is the name of the sensor. Okay, this is commonly used with the Arduino. You can use it with 805 or any other microcontroller as well, but it is very commonly used with Arduino. And third thing that you require is a vibrator. So a vibrator is easily available if you are going to any electronic hobby shop. It will cost you about 5 or 10 rupees in India. Okay, and a buzzer. So a buzzer, and finally a power source. Maybe you can use a 9-volt battery. I have used a 9-volt battery here. Okay, sorry, 9-volt battery. So these are the things that you will require to build the basic product actually, and a few jumpers. If you have seen, the wires that I have used are jumpers in the previous project. So these are the things that you will require. So now we'll get into the actual construction of this thing. Okay, give me a minute to rub this thing. Okay, so the basic principle that one should understand while building this blind man's stick is that we have to measure the obstacle distance from the stick and raise the alarm or the buzzer accordingly. So here is the principle that will help you understand. Okay, so in this thing, so this is from point of view of ultrasonic sensor. So ultrasonic sensor is probably here in this side. So whenever there is an echo from this thing, sorry, a triggering from this thing, the ultrasonic sensor, there is an echo for that thing. So how actually ultrasonic sensor works? There are actually two pins in this thing. So this ultrasonic sensor, it looks something like this. Okay, my drawing is not really good, but yes, it can do. So there are these two eyes, or you can say the thing, construction thing. So there are two things here, two pins that control this thing: trig and echo. Trig is used for triggering. Okay, so this pin goes to the trigger pin of Arduino. So basically we have assigned a pin to Arduino that will do the triggering job for this thing, and the echo pin. Okay, so this is actually a transmit pin, that is a signal transmitted from Arduino to the ultrasonic sensor, and this will be received to the Arduino. So the principle is straightforward. You basically calculate the time required for the whole message reception. Okay, so after the triggering is done, the time required to receive the echo is actually the distance that is calculated. How the distance is calculated, we'll see in the diagram. Okay, this diagram, let me show you. See, so the speed of light is 340 meter per second, or you can say 0.00034 centimeter per microseconds. Okay, so based on that thing, they have calculated time period is equals to distance upon speed. Okay, and distance, so like time you can calculate, right? We calculate the time based on distance and speed. Okay, so this is something you have learnt in physics. Okay, so they have just inverted the formula and calculated the distance. So this is the basic principle how this ultrasonic sensor works. So now that we know the basic principle of this thing, let's just see how the code is done here. Okay, give me a minute to just move this thing. Okay, so let me get this code in size, proper size. So there is, like, we have used two pins. Okay, one is the echo pin and one is the trigger pin. So you can use any of the pins. Okay, I have used the 9th and 10th pins. Then there is something called a duration, a variable, a long I have taken here. Okay, and the distance will be measured in integer. Okay, so there are, in Arduino there are two main methods. Like whenever you write a applet or a servlet, there are methods like doGet, doPost, init, start, stop. So in this Arduino code there are two basic methods. There is the setup method and other one is the loop method. So in the setup method you do all the initializations that are required, and in the loop method you write the actual payload code. Okay, so whatever thing that is to be done or the program that is to be executed in a microcontroller is written in the loop part. The basic idea of a microcontroller that one must remember is a microcontroller executes a single program again and again during its lifetime. So this program remains fixed unless we have reburned the software, or you can say the firmware in this thing. So the second part here is, in the setup method we have used a pin mode function. The pin mode functions decide whether the pin will give or will act as an input pin or an output pin. So the trigger pin, as I have said earlier, will act as an output pin here, and the echo pin will act as an input. So basically we are calculating the time for sending or triggering the input and receiving the echo for that thing. And now, and below that we will write serial.begin. See, this is, I have actually written this thing, but it's not necessary here because we are not connecting this thing to a computer or anything likewise. So this sentence you can forego with. Okay, serial.begin here, because we will not be doing any serial communication. So this serial.begin and the baud rate 9600 will not be required, but still I am giving you a basic, so I have written that. Sorry. So after that, in the loop method you will see the digital write method. The digital write sends the data in a digital form and it is a write signal. And see what is the trigger pin, low. So it will set the trigger pin to low. So in digital thing we have states, okay, high and low, and whenever you do analog write there will be numbers, okay, specific levels. The numbers can be from 0 to 255, okay, in this thing. That is something that you should remember. Then there is delay in microseconds, or you can say delay in microseconds. There is 2 microseconds. So this delay is required. Why? Because this is an analog device and the reply and this thing will require a short amount of time. So we have used a delay here. Okay, if you don't put this delay, then there will be a race around condition in this thing. Okay, these sensors are not highly calibrated, these are very cheap sensors, so they do not perform that well. Okay, so this, there is called something called as a ping error, which occurs most commonly in these ultrasonic sensors. So to save from these errors we have to use the delay in between. So after I have triggered that thing, I have written digital trig pin high. Okay, so again I have put the pin to high state, then I have waited for 10 seconds for the reply, and then I have taken the triggering pin low, and then I have taken the duration, okay, when I got this thing, and the duration that I got the trigger is now calculated based on that formula that I had shown earlier, 0.034 divided by 2 into the duration. So that gives us the distance. So here in this program I have actually shown the distance. In our program we'll write if condition here, okay, at the last, and we'll check whether the distance is beyond a certain threshold. That is the obstacle. If the obstacle is very near to the person, okay. Now coming back to the original thing in our project, if the obstacle, this is considered an obstacle, okay. So here is your sensor, ultrasonic sensor. My drawing sucks. So if this object is like 20 feet from it, the person, we do not give a shit about it, okay. But if this object is very near, like a feet apart, so we have to raise the alarm. So there will be a if condition in this thing that will raise the alarm for us, okay. Based on that alarm we will trigger both the buzzer as well as the vibrator. That is the whole assembly of the previous project that I had shown you. In the code that you have seen now, I have not included the total code here, okay. I have cut down the functions, that is the if conditions and all those things, because I will cover them in the next video. So for now I only wanted to show you how basically the sensors are used, that is how input thing works and output things work. In the next video we will see a little bit more in detail. I know I'm going a bit slow, but that is the way how things should be taught, okay. Do not hurry too much, okay, that will cause problem in the learning process, okay. So trust me, I will cover up everything, and stay tuned. Thank you.